From Hollywood, it's time for Money TV. I'm Don Baillargeon. Thanks for joining us. Money TV is a program all about money and what makes it happen. You can do a simple search on YouTube and find videos of third world government Senate chambers breaking into unbridled chaos and even violence as the lawmakers lose their collective cool over whatever it was they were debating. Watching sessions of Parliament in the UK can become quite comical as the satiric rhetoric and verbal insults are hurled about with reckless abandon. So it was with a certain amount of sadness that I watched the opening day of the Supreme Court confirmation hearings for nominee Brett Kavanaugh, as the scene was marred by a total lack of respect and protocol unbefitting of both the chamber and the event. Special interest groups repeatedly tried to disrupt the proceedings by shouting down the speakers and screaming from the sidelines until they were finally removed and arrested by Capitol Police. Democrat senators who have eyes on running for president in 2020 took the opportunity to try and capture their soundbite moment in the spotlight. The chairman's opening statement was delayed by more than an hour due to the screaming, the shouting, and the continuous interruptions. The whole scene was surreal, and frankly, it was embarrassing. There was even a staged protest by women dressed as characters from some TV show called Handmaid's Tale, wherein a class of women called the handmaids are subjugated and used only for reproduction. Now that analogy is so misconstrued and stupid, it's simply head-shaking. Democrat Senator Dick Durbin freely admitted that the brouhaha was not so much about Kavanaugh as it was about President Trump. "You are his man," said Durbin, "and that makes some people nervous." Well, I'll tell you what should make Americans nervous, that a time-honored and important event like a Supreme Court nominee confirmation hearing can so easily and purposely descend into Banana Republic pandemonium. Now here's something you can get from anywhere in the world, including the Banana Republic. It's our toll-free number, good from anywhere in the world you're watching the program, 888-259-4449. Good for free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Well, our first guest joins us in studio, two executives from a company called Web to Door Corporation. SPRV is their stock symbol. To my far left is Mr. Boo Linton, the CEO. Boo, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Don. Thanks for having me.
And the president of the company, Rob Santillan. Of course, we spoke to you last week. Welcome back to the program.
Happy to be here.
Now, what's really amazing about your company, you're involved in logistics, but we had a conversation last week with Rod Boo that we were talking about the growth of the company. And you're still growing. I mean, a week later, you're still talking about continued growth. Give some input into that.
Sure. It's just in the last couple of weeks, we've almost hired another 50 drivers. Wow. We just put out a press release. We're a diversified company. We believe in hiring diversified employees, and we're focusing on veterans now. You know, we want to give them opportunities to work with us. Both Rod and I are veterans to the U.S. Armed Forces, and for us, we want to give something back to our countrymen who fight for our freedom. Plus, it's not just that. They are very dedicated, hardworking employees that have gone through intensive training, and we find that they are very effective at their jobs.
Well, I was just going to say they're extraordinarily trustworthy because we've trusted them with the safety of our country.
Yes, exactly. That's a little bit of our micro growth. You know, we're doing that within the hub in the Sacramento area, but more of our long-term growth plans, the reason the company became public and the reason I'm involved with it specifically as a CEO is our ability to do acquisitions. You know, we've got a model not unlike the waste management of yesteryear that started by rolling up these smaller businesses. We now have ours, which is doing very well. We started it from the ground floor, increasing efficiencies. We have relationships with several other companies that we're in discussions with, but we're opening the door even further across the United States as well as internationally. Now that's the last mile sector, which is Rod explained. It's if you order something from the internet, it's delivered to a specific location, then the last mile, could be a few miles, but it's called the last mile, is from that fulfillment center to your front door. It was interesting. I had one of my Bluetooth headphones, the left one went out. And I'm like, oh, great. You know, I like to go to the gym and listen to some music when I'm working out, and I'm not going to have any headphones. So I go on Amazon and click and look, and I'm like, it's Saturday. This is going to be here Sunday.
Right.
The next day, free shipping included. And I live in the Los Angeles area, so that's not our hub.
Right.
But the point is, what we do is we're getting stuff to people the next day. If you did that on FedEx, you'd pay an extra $20 for a weekend fee. It was included in the price. So this is absolutely the future of e-commerce and delivery, and we're part of the ground floor of that.
Well, the growth that you're experiencing, Rod, and we talked about that again, because I've just been mesmerized by the rapidity of your growth, the meteoric growth you're experiencing. As president of the company, I know this is your day-to-day operation. How challenging is it to manage that growth?
Challenges, any kind of industry that opens up in this kind of environment where you have a $1 trillion retail industry and then e-commerce is only a portion of it, it's almost like a lot of opportunities for us to grow. The challenge would be hiring the right people, getting the right systems in place, training them, making sure they're safe on the road, having the right infrastructure, having their vehicles. Those are the day-to-day challenges that we can encounter. That's why we look for companies to help us grow, to help us develop.
Well, we're operating in a booming economy, booming like we haven't seen in probably 30 years. If you're not working, if you don't have a job, it's because you probably don't want one. So I would venture to say that finding the right people is probably one of the biggest challenges, right?
Correct. And that's why we reach out to our veteran community. I think their skill set, their discipline, their dedication, their commitment is the right environment for our kind of operations.
Now, Boo, we've had the pleasure to have you on the program before, where you've been involved with other companies, different industry sectors. But what you bring to this deal, like you've said to me before we went on the air, that you're not really a logistics guy, but you're a CEO, experienced CEO, and you're bringing to it your talent for negotiating acquisitions, finding the right targets?
Yes, and a culture that is conducive to happiness and growth. I'm also an actor, and I was on General Hospital for a while, and I was on it during the 50th season. I'm in there, and you wonder how people are going to treat you. Who's this new guy or whatever? Everybody was just amazingly polite, friendly, courteous, happy at their job. And at that time, there was only 2 soap operas left in the whole country. Why was this one existing? Because of the culture that they had within their organization. So the most important thing to me in our success is bringing in that culture where people are happy, where it's like a Google environment. We're not there yet, but we're going to start off where if someone's happy with their job, they're going to deliver with a smile. Someone opens a door, they're happy. People, it spreads. And by starting that on the ground floor, we're going to build that, and we're going to have a positive energy with our company. When we do acquisitions, you were talking about growth to Rod. Part of our acquisition model is bringing in other existing operations that are already running. We don't have to start it from the ground up. We just have more senior management overlooking it. And the people that sell that company will be part of our management. So we're building it. I use the waste management example because it's a perfect example. It's very similar. You have hubs all over, every place. If you can have a delivery made to you by e-commerce, there's some kind of hub around you. And overall, we can keep going in that direction, not just last mile. We can have trucks, we can have warehousing. Rod's more of the logistics experts. There's other opportunities that we're looking to get into.
So part of that, what Boo was mentioning is our interest to find the right customer as well, has the right culture that we can adapt as well. Because our business model is to understand our customer. And our customer will be the one that builds that growth for us too as well. Because if we adapt what they're thinking, we're also adapting to the culture. And it makes delivery easy and our engagement easier for our business.
Web to Door Corporation, SPRV is their stock symbol. Gentlemen, this story just gets more exciting week by week. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Joining us now on the phone is Mr. Dave Massey. Dave is the CEO of a company called Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation. Their stock symbol's SIRC. Hey, Dave, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Don, thanks so much. Happy to be here, at least on the phone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're reinitiating coverage of the company. Be following you very closely through the end of the year. What's new at the company since you and I last spoke?
Oh, my gosh, Don. I've been a busy man. I just got back from New York City. We're working out the final details on the acquisition. That's probably the most exciting news of the year. It's as we announced earlier, it's a large acquisition, a little over $17 million in revenue, They're having a great year for a profit, and that's we're looking to close that very, very soon. That's been my focus for the last 3 months, that's for sure.
Well, I know you've been dealing with a lot of acquisitions that we've talked about in the past, but of course, now that we're nearing the end of summer, you probably were getting a lot of phone calls because some people are seeing their utility bills double and even triple, wouldn't you say?
I've been fighting a double-headed monster. I've been working with Nick on the acquisition, and we've been, and here in San Diego, SDG&E has changed the rate structure, and it started in the summer, and folks are literally seeing a 50 to 100% increase in their bills. They're tired of it. They realize going solar is the only way, and truly the phone is ringing off the hook, keeping me busy on both ends.
Well, of course, I live in Southern California as well, and my utility bill in the month of August tripled, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, once you get over a certain level and you get to the high usage rate, the rate is over 57 cents a kilowatt hour, which that's how it triples so easily once you get up that upper tier.
Now, we talked a lot about your display and your presence at the Del Mar Fair, which is the biggest fair in the country, by the way. Have you had a chance to do a post-analysis of the effectiveness of the fair for you this year?
The fair itself was down overall. We had a very good fair. We invested in a brand new display that got a lot of attention. It's an ongoing source of leads for us. They grab literature and they call us throughout the course of the year. But, the immediate effects were a little over $1 million in sales. And that will trickle in and keep us keep the public calling us, for months to come.
Now, we talked about at the beginning of the year when you were originally on the program, you were having record months, record quarters. How is that going to plan out for the rest of the year?
Our last quarter closing was a very positive quarter. I don't think I can call it a record quarter. The numbers aren't in front of me right now. I'm actually sliding down the freeway as we speak. But it was a good quarter. We've cut some overhead and scaled back a little bit. We're trying to be a little leaner and meaner and get the bottom line up more than the revenue up, and we're having some success doing that. I still, with me being a little bit of a one-man band on the public side and the private side, I have to combine my time or use my time for both sides. But I still like to tweak a little bit more and get the numbers better in the last quarter.
Well, as I mentioned, we're reinitiating coverage of the company. We'll be talking to you very closely over the next several weeks. Again, Solar Integrated Roofing Corporation, SIRC. Dave, thanks for the update. We look forward to talking to you again.
Sounds great, Don. Thank you.
Take care. And joining us now in studio is Riggs Eckelberry. Riggs, of course, is the CEO of Origin Clear Incorporated. OCLN is their stock symbol. Riggs, always a pleasure.
Did you know that people took a vacation in August?
Not me, not you.
No. Well, they've gone back to work with a vengeance. It's been a crazy week.
Well, that's great. Now, something we haven't talked about in several weeks was water chain. I was wondering if there's any updates with respect to that.
Well, I promised to talk about it this week. And, it was big news for us for 6 months of the year. At the same time, there's all this noise about it. And frankly, people don't know what to make of it, right? And so I thought I would step back a little bit, away from all the fun stuff with Lamborghinis and restarting Puerto Rico and all that craziness that goes on. What is this all about and why is it important? Now, we know Uber is a big deal.
Right.
It basically blew up the cab industry and brought many, many more people into the hire cab business. And it's almost become like, I'll take an Uber or I'll Uber over. Mm-hmm. It's become easier to go to the airport than taking your car, and rental cars, all that stuff's time to go away. Okay, but imagine if it was done with crypto. Mm. If you had a Beyond Uber crypto coin of some kind, the drivers would use a distributed app, DApp they're called, to qualify for insurance, for bonding, for background check, and so forth. Boop, they'd pop onto the network. A rider would have a credit card, that's really all they need, and they would connect directly.
Wow.
No Uber. It literally takes, and Uber's worth, billions.
Right.
You know that Uber drivers don't make a lot of money.
They don't.
That has come out. Well, now it would all go to the rider and the driver, and it would be a market relationship without the spider in the middle.
No middleman.
That's the beauty of crypto, is creating markets where the beneficiaries are the participants, not the capitalists in the middle. It's radical.
Well, it's really interesting because I think most people are familiar with terms like Bitcoin and blockchain and crypto, but majority of them don't really know what it means.
Yeah. Now, blockchain, let's put that whole concept aside. All that is software.
Right.
It's like software as a service and the cloud and this and that. Enterprise is getting into it. Go to IBM, get a blockchain. It's just a registry.
Exactly.
That's not important. What's important is this creation of currencies, because you've now created this linkage between the supply and the demand that has no intermediaries.
Right.
Incredibly powerful. So that can exist in water too. Water has been very monolithic. Big companies, big projects, and this and that, but not really serving the people who need water.
Right.
That's changing. It's all going to the edge. Small, remote sites, real estate developments, rural schools have to take care of themselves. If we can make that happen, that's water chain.
Well, it kind of reminds me of what happened with the phone companies some 35, 40 years ago. You know, we never thought that Bell Telephone would break up, and now look, you know, there's dozens and dozens of phone companies.
And we're better served, right?
Of course we are.
Right, we are massively. And so very similarly, what we're doing right now is defining not where we're going to rush around and fund things ourselves. No, we put the playing field there.
Right.
And connect these people and make it happen and market it. And so I really can't talk about what's happening behind the scenes. It's very stealth at the moment. And the model is killer. But the real purpose that I had here was to say, look, this model will directly help modular water, which is shipping to those decentralized sites. So I'm sorry to say, but I have a self-dealing interest as Origin Clear in water chain because it's going to directly help us with our own product line, and that's my goal.
In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us what you're doing to manage this or micromanage this?
Water chain?
Right.
It's very simple. We have an amazing team that's strategizing this. We are now moving into very early, pure crypto funding. We don't want to, the world does not need to fund this.
Right.
Right now, it's about people who understand crypto and they're not going to go, what's this all about? Small amounts, get it funded, get it figured out, get buy-in from all the crypto world, and it's going to be securities compliant so that it will be part of the new generation of compliant securities exchanges, which is going to transform crypto into something mainstream. It'll start happening this fall.
Origin Clear, OCLN. Every time you come in here, Riggs, it's like another education in another sector of what you're doing. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Does this sound familiar? Turned down for a mortgage? Credit card interest over 20%? Didn't get the job you wanted? The problem is your credit score. Unsure what your credit score is? Call the Advocacy Network. 321-947-3220. Talk to Carl. He can help you regain your financial independence. Change your life today. 321-947-3220. Talk to Carl.
Have you heard the news? There's only one flat-fee news distribution network on the market. It's called AccessWire, and it's exclusively from Issuer Direct. Any day, anytime, the AccessWire News Network can deliver your press release to more than 1,500 media outlets in 98 countries. AccessWire also delivers real-time engagement analytics. You will learn who read and shared your press release and more. Best news of all, getting started is easy. Visit accesswire.com and extend your company's news reach today.
We are back. Thanks for staying with us and joined now direct from Phoenix by Mr. Will Ralston. Will's the president of Single Point Incorporated. SING is their stock symbol. Will, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having us on, Don.
Well, we've been talking about your StakeHall peer-to-peer betting app, and I was wondering if someone wanted to bet on the success of StakeHall, could they use StakeHall?
Oh, absolutely. You could bet on anything you want to on StakeHall between you and your peers, whether it's the upcoming baseball season, playoff season, or the upcoming NFL season for week 1 here.
Well, we're getting into the meat of the sports season. As you said, baseball playoffs are looming, NFL's underway, college football too. Even basketball and hockey are right around the corner. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, we're really excited, especially because we've been able to implement a payments option, which really gives StakeHall a path towards monetization, being able to take a percentage of every transaction, which we here at Single Point have deep experience in because of all the credit card experience and processing knowledge that we have in that arena. So as you saw from our press release this past Wednesday, we've actually invested additional funding into SayCall to help them get to this next level where they're actually able to take credit card processing, be able to dabble in a little bit of cryptocurrency so that users can actually bet between themselves and then actually pay up on those bets.
What's really interesting too is this fits right into your original business plan.
Yeah, everything that we do, we try to wrap in, and how can this fit into Single Point's model, whether it's an acquisition, what kind of technology can we supply to make it more efficient? Can we bring in more payment systems to make it more efficient? So really everything Single Point does, it comes back to this whole, our backbone of payments and technology development. And a great example of that is we've been working on the last mile application a lot. And we've actually got Single Point subsidiaries that are going to start using it, as well as other clients, to make more efficiencies in the streamlinedness of their deliveries.
Well, that's just fabulous. Anything else to report, Will?
Yeah, well, we've actually bought TV time now, so we are getting really imminent on the launch of this Kevin Harrington commercial for our single coin Bitcoin wallet application. So we've bought the TV time, and we're getting very excited to get that out and be able to show all the investors and the public our new application.
Once again, Single Point Incorporated, SING is their stock symbol. Congratulations, Will, on all those developments. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Don, and go Sing.
Joining us now on the phone is Tom Djokovic. Tom is the CEO of XNX Incorporated. Their stock symbol's XSNX. Tom, welcome back to the program.
It's great to be back, Don. Thanks.
Well, what's new at the company, Tom, since we last spoke?
Well, Don, we're in the commercial solar space, and we also do energy storage and energy management for businesses. And what's kind of really exciting is we're starting to see a real uptick in the requests for energy storage to be paired with the solar. And more importantly, large energy storage systems, systems that are 250 kilowatts, 250 kilowatt hours of storage, all the way up to 600 kilowatt hours of storage. So larger container-sized type systems, which is pretty exciting, and so we're excited to be responding to those requests, and we hope to be able to turn some of those proposals into signed deals in the near future.
So is this the case, Tom, where the commercial solar system that you install is producing more electricity than the facility uses in a particular day? So all the surplus goes into the storage system, so to speak?
Yeah, exactly. And you create two options. You create what's called an opportunity for what's called energy arbitrage, where you can take electricity that would have gone into the public utility network as a credit, where they actually charge you to store that, and then they charge you again to feed it back to you. And you take that electricity and you divert it into battery storage. Then later in the day, when the solar starts to wane, or the evening or morning time hours, when you may still be experiencing peak pricing from the utility, you can feed that power back out into your facility and avoid having to pay for the expensive electricity. And you also avoid those what's called non-bypassable charges that the utilities now charge for the service of taking your solar power and then giving it back to you later. And then also for what's called demand management, where you reduce how fast a facility is using electricity, because utilities charge businesses for how many kilowatt hours they use. They also charge them for how fast they use electricity. And both of those components can each equal about 50% of a customer's bill. So the energy storage system can be used to offset that speed, or reduce the speed at which they use electricity, and reduce that other half of their bill. So it's very valuable, very, very valuable tool, and we offer it as often as possible.
Tom, every time we talk on this program, you bring up to me another charge that the utility companies are throwing at consumers.
Oh, and the rates are changing again. Next March 2019, businesses are going to start to see a significant change in what's called their time of use rates, where they're going to shift further into the evenings, later in the day, which is going to affect their pricing on what they're paying for power, and we're going to see the rates going up again continuously. So all these technologies, PV, energy storage, and energy use management, really are going to, there's continuously on a daily basis increasing in value for businesses.
Incredible.
And importance.
Incredible. Now, of course, a lot of innovations that you've brought into the business, of course, have been solar truck ports, solar car ports, and electric vehicle charging stations.
Yeah, and the EV charging, as a matter of fact, is a spot where we're getting more and more requests. And part of that's driven by the new green codes. The building codes that were adopted in 2016 invoked new green codes that require, if the value of your improvement is more than $200,000, or if you add more than so many square feet to a facility, you are required to put EV charging in, and the requirements are quite robust. It's as much as 5% of your available parking. So, a parking lot with 100 spots could be required to put in as many as 5 EV charging stations. So, that's a business sector that's starting to be driven by legal requirements from the new building codes, and we're really looking serious at developing a division specifically devoted to just working on that sector and marketing those services heavily.
X&X Incorporated, XSNX is their stock symbol. Tom, thanks so much for the update. Great piece.
Thank you, Don. Talk to you later.
Take care. Well, people are showing their displeasure with Nike by burning their sneakers, but I've got a better suggestion. We're going to talk about that on this week's Money Wrap radio program. To find a radio station near you or listen online, go to the website moneywrap.com. Call us right now, toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449 for free information about our featured guests. When you do call, be sure and ask to be added to the subscription list of our Money TV newsletter. Again, toll-free, 888-259-4449. Visit us at moneytv.net, and please, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. That's our program this week. As always, we'll be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us.